welcome, and it's really good to see you. As you know, at this time of the year, many of the graduates, LLB graduates, are being admitted as attorneys of the High Court of the Republic of South Africa. And today, I want to congratulate Themba, my boy, Themba, who's just been admitted today. Themba, congratulations.
Thank you, Ma.
And of course, the reason why I'm talking to you today is because just a few years ago, you were a first year. You came here from the Eastern Cape, and you had been admitted to study law. Did you know that it will end here?
Well, I had an idea, I had a clue that this is where one ends up. This is the highlight of the journey when you start as a law student, but I didn't know the details. I didn't know, to be frank, I didn't know that one has to go through articles. I only got to know that in my late second year, early third year, that actually you have to start applying for articles.
Wow.
Which actually articles is the 2 years of practical experience that you get to go do in a firm.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
So there could be many LLB first year students there who actually don't know that detail. Let me just start here. Do you get paid during those articles?
Yes, you get paid. It's not free labor.
Okay.
I can say that.
Okay.
You get paid, and it's a wonderful experience, really, because you get the practical side of the law. At school, at university, they teach you the theory, and then in the 2 years of articles, you get the practical side of drafting notice of motion, letters of demand, it's summons, it's a whole range of things. You actually get to be the lawyer. The document starts with you as a candidate attorney.
Okay.
Yes.
And then your seniors get to check them.
Yes. That at least at my firm, that's how we did it. So if you brief the attorney, they would send it to the candidate attorney and say, these are the facts, this is what we want to do with this case. What do you think? What should be the next step? And then you start the process. And of course they would say, there's precedent on this, so we're not allowed to do it this way, or you're on the right path, or look at this angle.
So I mean, let's start by advising first years. The students who are starting first year, you've told them that there's a route to be. You're going to have to start by being a candidate attorney. What happens? What's the toughest thing at first year if you are doing an LLB degree?
The toughest thing is the reading. You have to read a lot, huge amounts of reading. I mean, it doesn't end actually. I think first week of introduction to law, we had to read the very famous case amongst legal eagles, the State versus Makwanyane. It spans over 200 pages.
Wow.
My goodness, if you give that to a first year and you're like, 200 pages, here's a case. They're like, what?
So they give it to you today, and how many days?
We're discussing in class tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes,
Wow.
we're discussing this case in class tomorrow. It's prescribed. And first years go, oh my goodness, this is the end of the world. And you come to articles and you read 200 today, 200 tonight, 200 tomorrow morning, 200 tomorrow evening.
So if you do not like reading, law is not your thing.
It's not for you, unfortunately.
It looks nice on TV, I must say.
I mean, on TV, of course, if you like drama, if you like being on the stage, then law is your thing as well. But you have to like reading. So, but the stage and the things that we see on TV is the end product. There's a lot of hard work and sweat that goes into that. Before that. I mean, by the time we get to court, you have to know the case back to front. You have to close your eyes and be able to sing what's on paragraph 46. Because when the judge asks, what do you mean on paragraph 46? You must know. So you have to read and you have to know your story.
Okay. So what strategies did you use to succeed? I mean, you know, first years have been in varsity now for almost 2 months.
Yes.
Some of them 1.5 months.
So I mean, the cheating code in law is that, especially with case law, you have to read the introduction and the facts of the case.
Okay.
You will go right at the end and read what the judge.
But how do you know what are the facts of the case?
So
you
that
need everything to know what the fact is, or you go.
So that's how case law is normally structured. The judge would start the number of the matter is, and then they would tell you what happened, and then they would do an analysis of the law in the middle, and then at the end they would tell you why they came to the decision they came to. So the cheat code is that you read the facts, you go see what is decided, and then you come back to the reason.
And then so you can make out whether it makes sense.
Whether you agree or whether you don't agree. I mean, a lot of people don't agree with a lot of judges, but I mean, it's the law.
It's the law. Wow. Okay. And then, of course, you are not doing one course. No. That's the one course that's giving you homework for 200 pages. You've got other courses that also have their own 200 pages. Is that what it is?
Absolutely. I mean, at Stellenbosch, at least I was at Stellenbosch University. Yeah. At least you do either 2 or 3 other modules that are outside the law faculty. So I did English studies, I did philosophy, I did information systems, and those are in the humanities faculty. They've got their way of doing things, they've got their own deadlines. You have to balance the two. So you've got your law modules and your law deadlines, but the humanities is also waiting for you. So it's not one single-sided or in a box kind of thing, which I really appreciate and really like, that we can work across faculties. Yeah. And I think it's needed in higher education. Yeah. We need to get the engineers to start thinking, what are the humanities guys doing? What are the lawyers doing? Yeah. So that because the challenges we face are multifaceted. We need solutions that are multi-layered, multidisciplinary, exactly.
Yeah. So and then talking about the courses in humanities, many of the students who apply to law to do an LLB, they have as a second choice a BA or a BSOC side. And often, I mean, having been in university for so many years, when students get told that they were not admitted there and then they must do a BA, they actually think it's the end of the world. And I often say to them, actually it's good because you're going to get good training. It might take a little longer because some universities have a 5-year program where you get out with a BA and an LLB, but I'm surprised that many students don't take that because in my view, they'll do the philosophy, they can do politics, they can do international relations, but they learn how to write, how to argue, how to whatever, and many of them don't take it. I mean, I think it's a good way to go because it trains you.
Absolutely, I'm in full agreement with that. Had I known again, I think I would have went for a BA LLB, but I went for the straight LLB. But of course, I think there's also societal pressure.
Oh yes.
There's always also, you studied LLB, oh, you studied BCom law, or you studied BA law. So I mean, those things don't really matter at the end of the day, but they exist.
Because when it's real. When you're in court, when you're in the law firm, whether it's a BA, LLB, you all do the same thing.
We're all given the same instruction.
Yeah. It's not like you're gonna be paid less if you do the BA, LLB.
Not at all. I mean, if the client wants to evict people, and there's 3 lawyers that are ready to handle the case, we're all working on the same facts, and we all have the same precedent.
Cool. I've got 2 more questions. I heard also that, and of course, having led a university at first year level, there are an LLB class is very different from a BSc class in the sense that in an LLB class, almost 70% of the people either have degrees already, they have taught, they have worked, so they are adults, and about 30% or so are fresh from matric. And then one student said to me, well, it's very tough because then the professor teaches for the majority, and the majority are experienced people. Some of them have been secretaries at law firms, they've got an idea of this, and I come from matric, from KZN, I've got good results, but hey, it's the first time and I'm not coping. Did you find any of that?
It's quite intimidating, but actually I think I had the opposite experience. There were a lot of grade 12, fresh out of high school students in my first year, and then we did have the 30-40% that were doing postgrad. We call them postgrad LLB. But I mean, they're intimidating. I mean, this is somebody who sits on so many boards.
Yes.
Someone like you can decide tomorrow, I want to do an LLB.
Exactly.
And when you're in class, you're no ordinary student, and you've got these questions that you've dealt with in real life, and you want the lecturer to explain. And I mean, I do find that it gets a bit difficult for lecturers to to actually recognize, okay, I've answered the postgrad student, let me get back to the undergrad. They tend to just continue. It's something that lecturers need to also look at.
But maybe it's a good thing for those who come from matric to have a friend of this one who has worked, because some were teachers, some were in the law firm, some were nurses, some were all sorts of things.
I only had postgrad students,
Is
and I mean they take good notes.
They take good notes.
and they've got I've always said don't limit yourself. Yes. Don't say because they've worked or they're in a different league I should not reach out. I mean, I had a fabulous girlfriend.
Not
Not
that kind of girlfriend.
And she had worked before. She had sat on so many boards. So in company law, actually, which is people find it pretty difficult.
It's big money.
Big money.
Yeah.
So she came with a corporate lens, and the questions she asked and the cases. I mean, the Makata case, the famous one. She knows Makata personally, so she would say, no, but what about this? What about that? So it's beneficial to have people out of your league.
Okay. Famous case that you learned about. I mean, I remember you talking about the Masitsana Kumalo case of the bicycle and so on.
Yes, I mean, Mambasi is the queen.
Yes.
She's got so many precedents in law. She's developed the law, actually. I take my hat off.
So it's not only that one case, there's several cases?
I think there's about 2 or 3 all along the lines of defamation.
Okay.
And if she's not happy, she will take you to court. And I think that's important.
That's good.
That is very good. And I wish her all the best with the current case that's happening.
When she won it, I mean.
She won. They're busy with the sentencing, the mitigation, and that sort. So
that's fantastic. And that develops the law. When people do that, it develops the law.
So
because then you have precedence.
There's a whole question in amongst the legal circles. Who develops the law? Is it lawyers? Is it judges? Or is it the clients?
And it's the clients.
I think so.
Wow. Now, finally, when you are a candidate attorney, many people also have no idea how it works. I understand that you move from division to division or section to section. So today may be family law, this week or whatever, this month, I don't know. Can you explain to us how it works?
So I will talk about myself.
Yes.
I had 12 months in litigation. So I'll talk about myself. I had 12 months in litigation and I was exposed to family law, commercial litigation, a little bit of labor law. And then I had 6 months in property and conveyancing.
Okay.
Then I had another 6 months in commercial, which is company law, dealing with shares and shareholders and
mergers and acquisitions.
And you think it's so difficult, but once you apply your mind, you're like, this is so interesting.
But the issue is, did you know which one you will take? Because I've spoken to some people who have finished their candidature, and they say now they're looking for a job.
Yes.
And then I ask, how do you choose? Do you choose with what makes money, or what's more comfortable, or what gets more cases? How do you choose after that? Because you've got to understand that you've got to choose a lane.
Yes. So I think it's a moral compass kind of thing. It's if you are ruled by money, I would definitely say property and commercial. But if you're making career moves, I mean, the judge today spoke about not missing the opportunity to make life better for fellow South Africans. And I've always said, I think there's an article online when I started my articles. I said when I left university, I said, I want to infuse social justice in corporate.
Okay.
And I think to a certain extent, I've been successful in that. I mean, yeah.
Fantastic. So where to from now?
Now
that you're an attorney of the High Court of the Republic of South Africa.
I mean,
of course, I think you'll be a future Chief Justice, but I mean, there are steps towards that.
Thank you. I really accept that, and you've been consistent in that, and I hope
Prophecy.
I hope it comes to fruition in your lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm back at the University of Stellenbosch doing my masters, but I've also joined Prof. Madonsela at the Center for Social Justice as a research officer responsible for law reform, data interface, and outreach. So we bring something new. We want to say, how does data influence the law? Because you can't make laws when you don't know the data and how the different laws will affect different people in different parts of society.
Wow. All the best, Themba. Thank you so much for having this time with me. I hope first years there learned something. If you're doing an LLB, it is not just the degree that's going to make you a lawyer. Because in fact, after getting the LLB degree, you are not a lawyer. You are just a graduate of law. There will be a lot to do. And in the next episode, I'll be talking to you about what if you choose not to be an attorney and you want to be an advocate. But for now, thank you so much, Themba. Really loved talking to you. Cool.